Hello, welcome to Glasgow Go-Getters YouTube channel. My name is Kit. What are we going to be talking about today? My favourite subject, books. Do you know why? Because today, the 4th of March, Thursday 4th of March 2021 is World Book Day in the UK. Now, UK is where I am based, Glasgow, Scotland. So the first book that I want to introduce you to is Breaking Night by Liz Murray. This is what I'm reading currently. It's an autobiography by Liz Murray, whose full name is Elizabeth. I first found out about Elizabeth's tragic story through a movie called From Homeless to Harvard. It was a movie that I watched on YouTube a number of years ago. I promised myself back then that I would buy this book and read it. Years later, I finally got my paws on this book and I began reading it this week. In one of the books that I've read since my life transformation in 2011, the author suggested that we collect heroes. So, Elizabeth Murray is one of my heroes because she went from homeless to Harvard. Now, Liz's story goes something like this. Her parents were drug addicts. Liz's mum was diagnosed with schizophrenia. She had a disability in her eyes. She was registered blind. So whenever she got a disability check through, Liz's mum, Jean, or Jeannie she was called, would spend a considerable amount of it on drugs, abandoning her children, neglecting them and abusing them. Because she was such a drug addict, she was not fit to take care of her daughters, Lisa and Liz. Liz often went out when without food. She went hungry most days. She didn't have clean clothes to wear. She didn't have a proper shower to take a bath, to take a shower, because her bath was blocked, so the water wasn't being flushed properly, wasn't running through the pipeworks properly. She smelled, so she didn't like going to school, and she would skip school because her classmate would make fun of her, would laugh at her, and she felt ashamed and humiliated. Unfortunately, in this book, Liz shares with her readers that her dad was intellectual. She was influenced by her dad's intellect because her dad read a lot of books. Fortunately, there was some help there. She read encyclopedias that was given to her by a lady who found encyclopedias from what they call dumpsters as bins that we call in Glasgow, Scotland. So the neighbour found these encyclopedias in a bin and gave them to Liz. Liz kept reading them so she could at least keep up with her education. Liz was an exceptionally intelligent young girl. Although she missed school, she tried her best to sit exams towards the end of the year so that she could move up at the next level in her education. In one of the pages, one section of this book, Liz shares with her readers that although her teacher knew that she might not pass her exams towards the end of the year, Liz went to school and sat her exam anyway. She passed them by, I don't know, magic, fluke, or whatever you want to call it. She passed them, went to the next level, and what pains me to see is that although my dysfunctional family was nowhere as intense and dysfunctional as Liz's family, I can so relate to the abandonment, the neglect, and the abuse. So that's why I'm so drawn to Liz's autobiography. I want to share The very first book that I read when I began my life transformation way back in June 2011, which is going to be exactly 10 years this June. So it was someone that recommended it to me, The Key to Living the Law of Attraction by Jack Canfield. It was from reading this book that I began setting goals in different areas of my life. I also started writing a bucket list. I have ticked a few items from that bucket list. So the areas where the author suggests that you set goals are, now let me think, relationships, career, finance, health and well-being, relationships, career, finance, health and well-being, and there's something else. Contributions and leisure, 6. So I've been working on goals in these six categories throughout the last 9 years and 9 months, to be precise. One of my biggest goals that I have achieved in the last 9 years and 9 months is getting into public speaking. Now, without public speaking, I would not be able to make these videos speaking to a camera, because it just doesn't seem to be who I am. I love talking face to face because I am a visual person. I like to look at people and study their body language. And speaking to a camera, it just feels dumb. At first it was awkward. However, I have learned to adapt and adjust my public speaking skills to fulfill one of my goals is to make more YouTube videos and get my content out and create traffic for my business, help people, because in my 20s and 30s I had a constant question that was lingering in my head. The question was, oh, there must be more to life than this. Oh my goodness, there must be more to life than this. Oh my goodness, there must be more to life than this. And this was working more than 60 hours a week for 6 days a week, sometimes 7, to fulfill someone else's dream. That was not my dream. It was my ex-husband and his mum's dream of having a business. I didn't want to work in a Chinese takeaway business. It was not my dream. So during my 20s, I constantly asked myself, there must be more to life than just working to fulfill someone else's dreams or goals. I didn't know what I want back then. Through my 30s, it was similar. That nagging question was still in my head, constantly asking, there must be more to life than this. Fortunately, because I'd asked it so often, my questions were answered. I was fortunately introduced to a nutrition company called Herbalife. You may have heard of it. So that nutrition company was and still is very big on self-development. Well, when I was introduced to it, my first mentor was Jim Rohn. He inspired me. His voice was empowering. His philosophy was empowering. Everything he said made so much sense because it was simple to follow. For example, and I quote, take care of your body. It's the only place you have to live. And he also emphasised to elaborate on this. He emphasised that some people don't do well because they're not feeling well. They don't take care of their body. They don't take care of their mental health, their well-being, their needs. And I was one of them. I wasn't doing well because I didn't feel well physically, mentally, and emotionally. To quote another Jim Rohn quote, he said, for things to change, you must change. And I thought, when I heard that for the very first time, I thought, oh my goodness, for things to change, I must change, because I was living life saying the same things to myself, doing the same things and expecting a different result. It was foolish, it was futile. So when I heard that, I decided to make changes to my life. And the changes at the beginning were small. However, small changes over an extended period of time compounds. I built a momentum. I keep changing my poor habits and developed richer habits. I changed the people that I chose to surround with. I changed how I created more time for my self-love and self-care, because I wasn't taking care of myself. I'd neglected to take care of myself because I was so busy taking care of my 3 sons who were younger back then. I fully enjoyed the last 9 years and 9 months of working hard on myself. I stopped reading fiction books as soon as I started investing in myself, working hard on myself. I don't have any regrets not reading fiction books, because they don't teach me anything that I want to learn. It doesn't help me to expand my knowledge, expand my horizons. And on that note, I want to share another few books with you, since it's World Book Day and I'm passionate about my books. Hi, my name is Kit and I'm a codependent. The very first time I said that in a CODA meeting, Codependence Anonymous meeting, way back in 2017, I felt a huge sense of relief, because I realised why I did what I did and why I got into abusive relationships with men. I realised why my family did the things they did and ignored other things that needed their full attention. So let me share with you these 2 books that my awesome Aussie hubby sent me. This one was such an insight into building an intimacy within a couple's relationship. Then I read this one and it helped me to learn about dysfunctional families, codependence, and the roles that we take on. When we are born into such a dysfunctional family system. Then, I can't remember which book that's written by the same author. At the end of one of these books, this author, Pia Melody, was mentioned, and this book was also mentioned. So after getting a copy of this and reading it, towards the end of this book, Pia Melody suggests that we find our local CODA group, which I did, and I attended weekly meetings, and I realised that I was doing things the way I did because of my dysfunctional family setup. From this book, yes, I got this title, and it helped me to understand dysfunctional family systems and codependence behaviours even more. I learned about toxic shame and how it's affected me and my behaviours, how it's affected my family, my sons, and why other people are affected by toxic shame. So these are the books that I wanted to share with you because it's World Book Day. I would love to talk more about books because it's one of my passions in life. Give me a book and I could be engrossed in it all day. I hope you got something valuable from this video. If you would like to share anything with me regarding books, please leave a comment in the comment section. Remember to subscribe and share. Until the next video, stay safe. It's bye from Kits.